Some people get gaslit once and walk away. Others stay for months, not because they're naive, but because they're wired to doubt themselves before they doubt anyone else. Same manipulation, completely different outcomes. So today, we're ranking all 16 MBTI types by who is most vulnerable to gaslighting, from the types most likely to trust their gut and get out, to the types most likely to convince themselves they're the problem. A few of these are going to feel uncomfortably accurate. Drop your type in the comments before we start. Let's see who's self-aware enough to admit it. Number 16, ENTJ. ENTJs are probably the hardest to gaslight successfully. They trust their own judgment above almost everything else, they track inconsistencies, and they don't spend a lot of time wondering if they're the problem. That's not what happened. I have the emails. A gaslit ENTJ is usually a very briefly gaslit ENTJ. Number 15, ESTJ. ESTJs run on facts, structure, and consistency. So when someone tries to rewrite what happened, they push back fast. That's not what you said. I remember exactly. They're not particularly interested in entertaining an alternate version of reality. You'd have an easier time gaslighting a spreadsheet. Number 14, ISTP. ISTPs are emotionally detached enough that manipulation tactics tend to slide right off. They're not overinvested in the relationship dynamic, they're not trying to preserve harmony, and they're not going to spiral into self-doubt because someone told them to. I know what I saw. They might not even realize someone was attempting to gaslight them, they just quietly stopped believing them. Number 13, ESTP. ESTPs are grounded in observable reality. What happened, happened, and they're not interested in debating it. I was literally there, nice try. They can get caught off guard if the gaslighting comes from someone they're emotionally close to, but even then they tend to course correct fast. Their gut doesn't second-guess itself for long. Number 12, INTJ. INTJs are systematic observers. They track patterns over time, they notice when narratives shift, and they don't extend trust easily in the first place. This is the third time the story has changed. The one window of vulnerability is early on, before the pattern is fully established. Once it is, the relationship is already over in their head. Before we get into the middle of the list, there's a type in the top 5 that's going to surprise almost everyone watching. Not because they seem weak, actually the opposite. Most people would assume they'd be near the bottom, but there's a specific reason they're as vulnerable as they are, and once we get there, it's going to make complete sense. Let's keep going. Number 11, INTP. INTPs are good at spotting logical inconsistencies, but manipulation isn't always logical. If someone they genuinely trust is feeding them a distorted narrative, they'll analyze their way right into accepting it. I mean, I could be misremembering. Let me think about this. The same brain that can dismantle bad logic can also rationalize staying in a bad situation way too long. That's the trap. Number 10, ENTP. ENTPs are sharp enough to spot gaslighting and stubborn enough to stay engaged with it anyway. They'll debate, counter, and try to outlogic the manipulator, which sounds like a defense, but just keeps them in the conversation longer than they should be. That doesn't line up with what you said last week. Explain that. Winning the argument becomes the goal. Getting out becomes an afterthought. Number 9, ESFP. ESFPs respond strongly to the feeling in the room, and a skilled manipulator knows exactly how to manage that feeling. Maybe I did overreact. I don't know. They're not naturally suspicious. They hate conflict, and they'll trust the current emotional atmosphere over their own memory of what actually happened. Number 8, ISTJ. ISTJs are detail-oriented and consistent, which should make them hard to gaslight. The vulnerability is loyalty. Once they've committed to someone, they'll recheck their own memory several times before they'll question that person. Maybe I did misunderstand, but that doesn't feel right. That gap between doesn't feel right and actually acting on it is where the damage happens. Number 7, ESFJ. ESFJs are wired for harmony, And gaslighters treat that like an open door. Their first instinct when something goes wrong is to ask what they did to cause it. I just want to understand what I did wrong so we can fix this. They'll work so hard to repair the relationship that they lose track of whether it was ever fair to begin with. Number 6, ENFP. ENFPs see potential in people, which is a genuine strength and a real liability here. They're optimistic, emotionally flexible, and will talk themselves into one more chance longer than almost any other type. I know how they acted, but if we just communicate better. Gaslighters love an optimist. Every time an ENFP extends good faith, the manipulator gets more runway. We're now in the top 5. This is where it gets genuinely uncomfortable. If you've ever stayed in a situation longer than you should have and couldn't fully explain why, there's a good chance your type is somewhere in here. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. We do this every week. Number 5, ISFP. ISFPs feel things deeply and quietly, which means when someone starts distorting their reality, the damage happens internally before it ever surfaces. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too sensitive. That phrase is one of the most common things gaslighters want their targets to believe. ISFPs are already halfway there on their own. Number 4, ISFJ. ISFJs are observant and detail-oriented, genuinely good at noticing when something doesn't add up. The problem is, noticing and acting on it are two completely different things. That's not what I remember, but maybe I got it wrong. They don't get it wrong, but by the time they trust that, a lot of damage has already been done. Number 3, INFP. INFPs are deeply self-reflective, which under normal circumstances is a strength. In a gaslighting dynamic, it becomes a liability. When someone tells an INFP that their perception is wrong, their first move isn't to reject it, it's to genuinely consider it, to sit with it, to wonder, honestly, if they missed something. Maybe I did misread the situation. I do that sometimes. Gaslighters don't need to work very hard here. INFPs will do a significant portion of the gaslighting themselves, not out of weakness, but out of a sincere commitment to self-honesty that gets weaponized against them. Number 2, ENFJ. ENFJs sense manipulation early, often before anyone says a word. And this is the type I was hinting at earlier, the one that sees it, but still stays. So why are they this high? Because sensing it and leaving are two completely different things. ENFJs are fixers. They feel responsible for the emotional health of their relationships, and they'll stay in the distorted dynamic far too long because they genuinely believe they can help the other person through it. I know something's not right, but if I just approach it differently. The gaslighter doesn't need to convince an ENFJ they're wrong. They just need to convince them to stay. And finally, topping our list at number 1, INFJ. INFJs are extraordinarily perceptive. They read people well, they sense manipulation early, and their gut is usually right. So why are they number 1? Because they don't trust their gut. Not fully. Not when it conflicts with someone they love. INFJs are deeply empathetic. They carry a strong sense of responsibility for the people in their lives, and they second-guess their own instincts constantly, especially in close relationships where the stakes feel high. I feel like something's wrong, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. That gap between sensing something and trusting that they're sensing it correctly is where gaslighting takes hold. And the more emotionally invested an INFJ is, the wider that gap gets. They see it, they feel it, and then they talk themselves out of it. That's not naivety. That's empathy turned against itself. So, where did your type land? Drop it in the comments and be honest about whether you've ever talked yourself out of trusting something you knew was right. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We do this every week. And remember, being gaslit doesn't mean you're gullible. It means someone studied how you think and used it against you. That's on them, not you.